Hello and welcome back to Seth 2.0 TV. I am your host, Seth. So, this is going to be my first World of Tanks video, as you can see by all the tanks. Yay, tanks! Um, I am in my E100, which is a tier 10 German heavy tank with a big honkin' gun.
Move out.
And we are here on Ruinberg on fire, and needless to say, if you're not aware yet, this map is being removed from the cycle, which I kind of think is sad because I really loved the lighting on it. I know a lot of people didn't. I really liked it, primarily because it's actually fairly realistic compared to most things. Anyways, but yeah. So, as you can see, I'm pushing up here into town a little bit. And I'm going to park myself up on this corner up here. The reason for that is because periodically you'll have some noobs rush through over here and get shot. And vice versa on the other side. I'm not going to be that fortunate this time. We would have spotted somebody by now by that T10 E5. Which really kind of sucks. But that also got me thinking, well, where is everybody? And here's pretty much going to be the thing about this video. Well, besides the fact that I actually do fairly well on it, but that's beside the point. So, as you can see here, there's only myself, 3 other heavies, and a Ferdinand in city, and we're pretty spread out. In fact, I can't even call the AMX 50 120 over here in city because he's not really going to do much. He's going to be focused for city wise. He's going to be focusing more over here and over here, and he is in a fairly nice and decently critical position. I say decently because you can get away without it having, but him being there does block off this little corridor here. So, anyways. But, so realistically, it's me, this T110E5, this VK4502B, which I will tag up with, and this Ferdinand, the Great Elephant, in City. And this is because if you look at the lineup, we're the only heavies on our team. Yes, there's only 4 heavies on our team here. In a tier 10 match. But if you look at the enemy team, they don't really have that many heavies as well. Now, I do kind of have to be like, what are you doing, T28 prop? We could have used you in here, but he is a TD, so not sure what he's doing hanging out by artillery, but we're just gonna leave him there, I guess. He's really not in a good position for that tank, but everybody else pretty much is playing to their strengths. The Jagdpanther is good when it's hulled down, and it's really a fast tank. The Rheinmetall has an amazing stealth. I wouldn't really want him in city anyways because he has paper armor. Stealth is how he does things, and Rheinmetalls are horrible at city fighting. And then there's the mediums and the lights and artillery. So realistically, they're in a good position for where they need to be, essentially, with their strengths. And that's how you win battles. It's not like a cookie cutter thing, which is really kind of, I'm going to be talking about strategy in these videos. If you want to learn how to play, I suggest you go watch Quickie Baby. And if you want to learn the history about it, I suggest you go and watch the Mighty Jingles. So, I mean, I'm just going to be doing strategy in most of these videos and looking at the laughs. Anyway, so now that that's beside the point and we've covered the initial positions, you're going to pretty much see a really kind of interesting thing. Most people would get rage and complain and everything, because our spread here is not really that great. But we work well as a team, and we take advantage of certain situations, which is what I wanted to show you in this video. So, continuing on here, as you're going to see, nobody's coming, so I push up, I look over, and I decide I'm going to tag over here because I know that I don't want to put myself in the position where I can get flanked on both sides on the pincer. That T110E5 is going to pretty much just lock down that side, and we're going to lock down over here. I'm aiming in over at this AMX 5120 that just retreated from the VK4502B. I'm trying to aim in on him, and then I realize that he's pretty well hidden, and I can't see him. Which also means he can't see me. So we decide to push up. Now, this VK4502B I am not platooned with, but I figured if, you know, he seems to know at least some basic concept of knowing how to seize moments. So, stats all aside, we're just going to roll with it.
Penetration.
And that is a beautiful hit. Now, really quickly, a lot of people diss the pen on this tank. And I kind of disagree. I mean, in terms of raw pen, yeah, this tank is horrible. But it has an amazingly large caliber gun. And for the caliber, it has adequate pen.
Bounce.
You have to know where you shoot. And shooting on the cheek of a T-32 is not where you need to shoot. But the point being is this, because it is a high caliber gun, you just have to shoot at places that are either weak points or you're going to
Track damaged.
overmatch.
Penetration.
And as you can see, it does quite a significant amount of damage. And I'm just using AP. I haven't used heat. I haven't used HE. I'm just overmatching where I'm shooting. As you're going to see right here with the T-32. I aim low.
Penetration.
And I rely on that overmatching to prevent it from bouncing with the angling. And that's really the strength of this gun. Now, if you've noticed, we've kind of pushed through this one part and we broke this line, which is really kind of the important key. I take a snapshot there trying to get the kill before the VK moves up. But as you can see, however, we only really lost the T110E5 up until this point. And that's just with two tanks. Two tanks pushed this entire section and did a fair amount of damage. And took the side. I tried to aim here. I realize there's no way I'm going to do that. I'm being hit by heat. I don't know why I didn't shoot underneath that truck. I kind of tunnel zoom here and panic a little bit.
Engine damage.
I know I'm being hit by heat, and I know this tank's weakness is heat. Here's
Engine destroyed.
also where I kind of lost it. When I pushed over here, I figured that I would have the VK on my back. That wasn't the case. The VK peeled off over here and decided to go hunting for this Pershing. And I really needed that backup. And I didn't get it. That's going to be another point of this video. If you're... Don't go off one-on-oneing trying to get kills. Work together. Stick as a team. Always try to be at least with another person when you can. I realize this is pub matches and you can't always do that, but that's just something that, I mean, that's something you learn in the real military world, is you never go clearing a building by yourself. You never do anything out in a combat field by yourself. You always make sure that you have at least one other person with you. That's why we refer to it as a battle buddy. Anyways, so here I am. As you can see, the field played to their advantage, and when we started pressing over here and we collapsed this, people over here fell back and collapsed, or fell back essentially to cover this area over here, which we were pressing, which is what I'm being hit by now. But that also relieved the pressure on these guys, allowing them to work and now take out this side a lot more effectively, because now they can wolf pack. I'm still not sure what that T-28 Prot is doing. And as you can see, this AMX 50 120 is now starting to move around this area. And right here, you can see that I'm trying to get into cover. I'm trying to cover that lower glacial. And I'm trying to protect myself from the heat. Little to no avail, though. But I did get in one last shot for 3,070 total damage without using heat. And the T-34 is kind of like, about time. But as you can see, as I said before, that gave them the chance. They pushed around and they took that side. And that's simply because we put the pressure over here. When one side collapsed, people adjust, and now you can push over. Now, the remaining forces are surrounded, and they are definitely taking cover against it. Again, moving as a team. Moving as a team and not taking things on one by one. Because you notice the VK-4502B that went off hunting over there by himself died. And that's simply because he went over there by himself. Same as I died because either I didn't stick with him and didn't pay attention. Of course, I was in the front, so, you know, there's that. But that's going into a little bit of more actual organized team play. Point being, though, is that we broke up and we both died. And that's the point. Either I needed to have paid attention and gone with him, knowing what I know, or he should have came with me. Doesn't really matter, though, because point being is we broke up and we died. So now, this is pretty much game. The Object 430 is trying to go and get Artie killed. The T-28 prototype is way too slow. He's never going to get anywhere. This Bat Chat is trying to use the speed to catch up. And there's that. He takes a fire on the move, hits, and that's when artillery gets splash damage and hits. And that is pretty much that. As you can see, that's tactics. We had a few people, but we pressed the issue. We didn't wait for them to come to us. We noticed there was a hole in their line, and we pressed it. Once we pressed that, once we collapsed, once we used the tanks to our advantage and the strengths of our tanks to our advantage, even though we're average players over there, we weren't really amazing players or anything like that. We were able to push with minimal sides and collapse this side. When that side over here collapsed, this side pressed forward and seized the moment. And then swept in and flanked them. That's how tactics on an overall scale works. Now, granted, this is a pub match. I'm very happy that this actually happened because it, let's be realistic, pub matches never happen that way. Anyways, but so that's just, if you see these moments, I'm hoping that if you watch these videos enough time, you see the different tactics and you start actually paying attention to your tactics being employed and your team's tactics, that hopefully in the future we'll get better gameplay because you'll be able to recognize moments as a group and go for it. And realistically, you can do a lot. You can do incredibly stupid stuff if you work as a team and move as a group and not just like, oh, that one person's there, you know, and so on. Yes, there's times you don't want to follow people, but the point being is if you work as a team, you're able to really do well. And that is the point of this video. So, on to the after battle stats. As you can see, In that game, I did 50,000. Got 50,000 credits with premium account and 1,890 XP for the first one of the day with a Fire 4 effect. Granted, that's not really that great. This replay really wasn't about me. Anyways, so we did one critical damage or two critical damages and what was it 3,070 damage, I believe. So we can see over here in terms of experience, the VK4502P did really well, getting a 3,000 with 3 kills. He was the one that I ended up working with. And as you can see over here, damage, that the AMX 50 120 that held that 1 point did amazingly well as well. Like I said, that is a semi-crucial key point if you're able to take it. And then there's my 30,070. Between him and me, we did over... God, I hate math. 6,200 damage. No, 6,100 damage between him and me. By ourselves in city. And that's just simply because of the fact that we worked together up until the point we didn't. And we were able to collapse that side. And we were able to seize upon a moment where there was a hole in their line. Detailed report here, you can see that I shot 7 shots, 5 hit, with 4 penetrations. And that's with the notoriously bad penetration of this gun. And that's simply because you need to shoot in places where there's 1, weak armor, and 2, even if it's sloped, as long as it's weak armor, because you can overmatch with the caliber. As you can see, we took 12 hits, 9 of which penned, 3 of which didn't penned, most of which were heat, and took 1 artillery hit. That was splash damage and not direct hit. My armor blocked 1,350 damage. Again, that's not really... I've had way better. That's not really that great. And that's partially because after I went around that one section, I stopped angling my armor. And I pretty much just... I started panicking. We'll leave it at that. Or at least what goes for panicking in my world. I lost my cool. Let's put it that way. So, and I did 371 assisted damage. So, overall, that was an average game. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a bad game. But between the two of us, and that's really the point, between teamwork and tactics, we were able to win out the day and really dominate the enemy team. I hope that this has been entertaining for all of you, if not educational. And I will see all of you next time on Seth 2.0 TV. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps me out. Thank you very much, and take care. Bye.